Don't kill me, Matt. But very polite. Like, he was very polite. Gentleman, you know. He had been here full time for a little while prior to me starting full time. And I feel like Matt might have been just a tad uptight in the beginning back in the barrel room. But that's just my opinion.
For better or better, this perfectly bearded fellow is the textbook definition of a true blue whiskey lover.
I've been into whiskey for a long time. When COVID hit, I went like full in, just crazy, way past what normal people do. This is the lock to the speakeasy, right? So it is a biometric scanner. First wall is really kind of set up for people who are new to whiskey, right? So these are kind of some of the shelf bottles, things that you'll find. These are whiskeys that just various different kinds, different proofs, different age statements, different types. You've got rye in there, you've got bourbons in there, you've got flavored whiskeys in there, you've got really minty rye in there, you've got some really nice, affordable full proofs in there. The ones that are here along this wall are more toward the more seasoned bourbon drinkers. These are going to be some of the more expensive bottles. These are going to be some of the bottles that are some of the tater bottles, the bottles that people might covet and want. And once you've been in whiskey for a little while, these are probably bottles you're going to be interested in trying. So I'm working on my Stag Junior Vertical, so I'm slowly collecting those little by little. So I've got an 11, 12, 15, 17, and I think it's a 23C. 23C. So these are a couple of Old Fitz 13s. These have become really sought after as of recent. So I kind of hold on to something like this for like special occasion stuff, for monumental moments in life. I got a George T. Stag in here that I've been drinking on for probably 2 years. I love GTS too, no different than Stags.
Before Matt joined Barrel King, he had a sports car and a corporate job. And he collected a whole lot of fine-ass whiskey. But he wasn't really happy. His collection, well, it scratched an itch. But he was looking for something more meaningful.
I don't mind getting dirty, man. I mean, that's part of it. I mean, sometimes doing stuff with your hands, like sometimes that's the most satisfying thing. The most satisfying thing. My grandpa actually used to own an auto body shop that was right down the street. My parents were like super young, right? And so Gramps was like this knowledgeable guy, right? I mean, he was the one that guided. He was the guy who was working a full-time job, and then he was the guy who owned an auto body shop on the side. You know, he was a hustler, he was a grinder. He always had his eye on the prize. Grandma never worked. You know, I mean, that was just one of those traditional homes back then. I mean, you don't see that very much these days, but I mean, dude, he modeled exactly what I thought I wanted to grow up to be. Gramps was the best guy. He was the best guy, and I'm not gonna cry, damn it. So obviously the back wall is my BK wall. So I've been collecting BK for about 3 years, maybe a little over 3 years now. I don't have every batch, but I've got most of them. Yeah, I mean, dude, that's the brand that started it all. I mean, it's awesome. I was like, I have to have those. I have to be a part of this. I'm in. I don't care. I'm in. So I told my wife, I'm like, hey, I'm going to join this subscription. And she's like, you serious right now? Because obviously, you know, I frequented stores and, you know, I would come home with a lot of stuff. And I said, look, you know, if this is really as good as I think it's going to be, this is going to cut down on a lot of my purchasing. You know, I'm really going to dial back because I'm going to be in a program, and you can count on my budget not being $800 when I walk into a liquor store. It's like going to be $100 and some change. But that was really how I got started. And then I graduated, and I was carrying 2 memberships for a while, and you know, these things escalate.
I knew we had to have him. I think everybody thought I was fucking crazy, but I knew what he did. I knew we had to have him for now, because we would not be here without him, period.
Over time, I would come down to the barrel room, you know, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, whenever. And I would text Jared when I was on my way, and I'd be like, hey man, what do you got going on? Blah, 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 blah. You know, Jared was still trying to get this thing off the ground. And so he would be in the tasting room on Saturdays, and he had this table laid out, and he would have 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 sometimes bottles of different barrels that were in the back. And man, he would just be going at it like a chemist. And I'd come in and he'd be like, try this, you know, and he'd throw a sample. Then he'd ask for my feedback, and I'd tell him, and then he'd go, okay, hold on a second. And he'd go back to it. I'll try it now. And really our friendship just kind of blossomed naturally, you know, just 2 guys who loved whiskey, and Jared trying to make this something great.
He is, I mean, you pull him out of that cog out. I don't know, buddy. I don't know.
So they are arranged kind of in my own messed up kind of way. So if you look, the top row over here is rye, then it goes into finished rye, then it goes into just the straight bourbons, then straight bourbons, then it goes down into store picks and private picks. Then here is the do not open ever. There just kind of came this point where I was like, this is really kind of what I want to do. So I have an alpha, a beta, a gamma, a delta. All of them are signed by Jared. Those are the ones that we release anytime something monumentally changes. When I decided to make that transition, I kind of felt like at that time that the universe was pointing me in this direction. Like everything that was happening in life, it just screamed, you need to change. The very last one, this is probably my prized possession of all the bottles that I have. Jared bottled 6 of these. For those of you in the know, there are batch 43 was Fruity Pebbles rye. It was a fantastic rye. It's still really sought after. It's still one of those bottles that people chase. It's a very unique rye, and it did have a Fruity Pebbles note to it. It's a very fruity rye, really, really good. It had a sister barrel that was barrel 71. That barrel actually blended into other things, and so that barrel did not remain a single barrel. Well, 6 of those got bottled. Jared and Rachel and myself and my wife went to Kentucky we were there for about a week, and it just happened to coincide with my birthday, and Jared gave me that bottle for my birthday. So that bottle is the most special bottle of all the BKs that I have. It cannot be replaced. It's a very special and unique bottle. I was just like, what do you think? And he was like, let me see what I can do. And so he got back to me like the next day, and he's like, all right, this is what I can offer. And I was like, done, I'm there.
He's an artist. Like, I call him a turnaround artist. He can make anything happen. The entire time, he is thinking about where you are and where you could be. Truthfully, it's everybody. And he takes great pride in that. Yeah.
Matt is like my logic sometimes. I say he's like my devil and my angel. He's never going to give me my answer, or never going to give me what I want to hear. We have to collaborate on so many things because our jobs go hand in hand. And so he will give me here's this version, and we will walk through it together, but he's never gonna give me the answer. And at first I'd be like, just give me an answer. No, we will walk through both scenarios together.
The juice that was coming out started to slow down, which is an indication that the screen from
I see
the
it. I got
tank
it.
is maybe clogged with some char. And so when we disassembled this, the screen fell, and so that's what she had to locate. So she'll just rinse that out, and then we'll put it back on the tank and restart.
I find that it's easier for me to give you a pro delta, right? Like, here's the pluses of what you're considering, and here's the deltas that you're considering. And as we talk through that, you're gonna add to those lists too, right? Because you're gonna see positives and you're gonna see negatives. And eventually you're gonna come to the decision on your own, because you probably already knew it anyway. You just kind of needed somebody to put it in front of you.
I don't think I've ever done this part before.
Matt,
Oh
watch
man,
this for a second.
this
Where
is
did
like
that guy
Who Wants
come
to Be a
from?
Millionaire. We gotta call a friend. We're phoning a friend.
Yeah.
Which one?
SOS.
What do we do here?
Smoke signals.
Yeah. Okay, so you can.
We're cracking.
Yeah, you can choose. So this one goes on this end. The one with the screen goes on the very, very end.
We had to figure out our personalities together, and we both came from such diverse backgrounds. And so, yeah, once we figured it out, and then that's how I describe him, like, I needed that devil angel kind of, and we've gotten it figured out, and he knows I'm very OCD. He knows how I work now, and yeah, it works out great. Oh, yeah, that's better. Okay, that was the problem. Holy cow! Okay, we did it.
Perhaps, in the biblical sense, around Barrel King, Matt's word could be considered gospel. And it hasn't always been easy, but he's earned everyone's trust. You see, they work together like a family, every single day, wearing a whole lot of different hats.
Coming in from a corporate world, you live in a very structured place, right? Like your job description is this. This is what you do. This is what you check. This is who you talk to. These are the things you look for. These are the KPIs you watch. It is all very structured. And so coming into Barrel King, that's not necessarily, your job is whatever the job needs to be. You know what I mean? And so it was a learning curve, and Jared's expectations, as you guys know, Jared has very high expectations. It's really weird because we have members that are very enthusiastic toward very different things. So I might have one group and they just might want to live in the finishing barrels. And then we'll have another group that's very traditional and they only want what's everywhere else.
Yeah.
And we just try to accommodate both of those things. But we also try to go into it with saying, hey, this is kind of the goal of what we're trying to do. So it helps them to not feel lost in here, because it is easy to get overwhelmed with it.
Yeah, I totally understand that. I gave that back to you because you were making a lot of sense, and then with the hammer, it would have just been like,
I earned the hammer back.
you've really hammered it home. You hammered home your point.
As his domain in the kingdom has become more defined, it needs to hold space for both the present and the future of the barrel room.
I feel insecure a little bit. And I honestly thought you were talking about me, you see? Because and it's not because I need to be the front guy, but that is like my baby. So it's almost like he's living my life 3 years ago. And it is his domain. And I feel a lot of insecurity around that. And I wouldn't let anybody else do it.
Matt Porter was here earlier this week, and he did a blend for us. This blend is going to be called Ohana. So our job today is to be able to take this mother blend and to split it off into what the secondary blend becomes this month. The top 4 there are going to be wine barrels and finishes, and then this entire row is finishes, this entire row is finishes, and half of this row back is going to be finishes.
Jared often says that the barrel room is truly owned by their community. And boy, do they feel it, especially at one of their blending experiences.
Drill. All right, let's find a barrel.
Okay.
Reverse it.
Nope, leave it in forward, and then just pull it out. It'll take all the sawdust with it. Yep, there you go. Pretty cool, right?
Right on my face. I got in trouble yesterday. They give me power tools. I don't know why, because I don't know what I'm doing with them. And I drilled into a barrel, and when I pulled it out, the bit got stuck in the barrel, and I was like, hey, Matt, I need help. And Jared's like, what happened? What? Put everything down. What's going on back here? I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, I don't know. It's fine.
I've broke my fair share of drill bits.
Yeah.
Like my husband is like, stay away from the drill. But yes, I know how to do it. He showed me.
I don't know how to do it. They mansplain it to me, and I'm like, listen, I'll just let you do it.
Just prepare it and give it to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not
pretty.
easy to be a man, is it?
Outside of Barrel King, I don't feel like I consume a whole lot of bourbon, but I don't feel like that is something that will possibly hinder me potentially doing a blend. Maybe one of these days Jared will let me put a blend together, but I know like it's gonna take time.
What's really special about these events is that members get to bring a +1. Sometimes they bring a buddy, other times, like in the case of this police officer, he brought his wife, whose newfound love of whiskey is kind of cramping his blending style.
Due to my persistence, she loves bourbon now.
I couldn't stand the smell of it. I really hated when he opened it at the house, and I would be there with my dry red wine, and it wasn't until I figured out that he liked a very different bourbon than I do. I like more rye bourbons, and
I'll drink anything.
As you might have guessed, her blend became a top contender.
droppers of the peach mango. Are you recreating?
Actually, well, I was gonna do your famous pour.
I didn't have many details because he got the invite, so I just showed up and was pleasantly surprised.
You want to try this? You tried this? So I feel like
I wasn't gonna drink today, but you don't have to. No, I want to.
Well, I think what happened today was my wife came up with a great blend due to her having great instruction from her wonderful husband today.
I think he was a little busy tasting and enjoying the bourbon while I created the master blend today.
That's good. Sorry, we're all taking drinks out of your drink. That's
fucking good. Yeah.
I made that one special. I haven't even put lipstick on that glass yet.
no.
She gets mad when I buy bourbon. But then when I buy bourbon, she gets upset, but then she drinks the bourbon and didn't drink all of it and left it there to die.
Did you put 2 of them?
Yeah.
That's what I'm missing.
Well, I'm making note.
He's a pioneer. He's trying to beat your recipe.
I think that a lot of people are looking for these real punchy things, like, and we build big things, and that's what people want: big, bold flavors and experiences, right? But then you find people like her and Matt Porter who go in and it's almost like by omission. So they're not they're not looking for this big, flashy thing. They're looking for some like beauty hidden, like hidden beauty. Certain expressions I want to be delicate, and then some things I just want to blow your fucking. That's good enough right now to put in a bottle like that, and it's a double platinum. Like that is better than 98% of the whiskey on the shelf. Literally.
He's a sore loser. He's the throw the table when he loses Monopoly kind of guy. Yeah, same here.
Wow. Jared, we have a winner.
After our winner was crowned and the blend was decided, we joined Matt for a store pick delivery at Grillo's, the neighborhood liquor shop where he had his first taste of Barrel King, and his life was changed forever. And as promised, within 15 minutes of announcing the bottle online, folks came flying in. This speaks to the power of the kingdom and one of its most loyal knights. The community is ready to serve, or at least be served.
I've never actually sat here and watched it happen. Usually I drop them off and I'm back down the road. It's really cool to see it actually. It's kind of humbling, and it's cool that so many people love it.
He just keeps things going, and gives me freedom, and he meets me where I'm at. 'Cause he's like, he wants to see it too, It's just, he's incredible.
They say, somebody's a good guy once you get to know them. Another way to say that is they're an asshole, but you get used to it. I wouldn't fault anybody for either one of those comments about me.
Do you feel like when you order a hidden door in your house, the FBI immediately tracks your information?
Well, I mean, considering the amount of whiskey that I have, they may already have known. I'm not really sure. I'm not too worried about